Hello guys. So now I am live today, but like yesterday I have started the series for array, right? So in array I have already taught, like I've started adding the videos. The first video which I have already taught is like it's like as you know that this question was like zeros question, right? Zero matrix. And today question is like we will be going to solve the second question from the Striver SD sheet, and this question will be uh, basically the second question, and it is Pascal's triangles, right? So let's start with this team, and let's try to cope up with my like if I am moving for fast, then you just can tell me that I will slow down. I need to slow down. Okay. So let's begin with our live session, and like I will be trying to solve this question in the live only, and I will also will be telling you the like how to approach the question, right? So it's not only about the like how you can solve any particular question, but how you can approach that particular question. So everything, it's like all about approach. And when you approach any question, you how you think about it. So in interview, you the people want to see your like how you approach that particular question. The interviewer just see you how you approach that particular question. He doesn't see like uh, how you reach up to the solutions, right? So there's a big difference in how you think, how you tell you the interviewer that how you are approaching that problem, right? So there may be a, so that more that thing is never told by any of the YouTubers. So I will be telling you that how to approach this particular problem while solving in an interview, right? So let's start our first question, like the second question of this playlist. Let me share the screen. Yeah, so this is the basically second question which we are going to solve, Pascal's triangle, right? So let's first read the problem statement. You are given an integer and you need to print the first n rows of a Pascal triangle, right? So basically, questions tell that you're given an integer n and you need to print the first n rows of a Pascal triangle. You don't, if you don't know about the Pascal triangle, so just let me so I will tell you what is a Pascal triangle. So let's like let me on the sketch pad. So yeah, Pascal triangle is something like this, right? Just you see. So what is happening here is like we are adding these two element and creating the next element, right? In the down one. So in Pascal, basically what we do is like we create an element, right? From the previous two element, from the upper row, we use these two element to create a next element in the next row, right? So this is called the Pascal triangle. It's a very like like you have all solved this question in the like earlier problems of mathematics, right? In the school only, right? So this represent one C1 and this represent basically one C1, one C2, like one C1, two C1, and this like two C1, two C0, two zero one, two C2. Like this is kind of that thing, right? So everything is like 0 C0, 1 C0, and 1 C01. So this kind of combination and permutation you have already seen in, right? So this is a Pascal triangle, and you have seen in formula like NCR is equal to NCR minus 1 plus N minus 1 CR minus 1, right? So we are using this formula only to solve this problem, right? So what this is referring is like in this like currently R is, I'm replacing N and R with I and J, right? So for my in my like for hours in code, like you will think like N is I and R is J. and for every I we need to move towards j minus 1th row. So if you need to find like 2c1, how you gonna find 2c1? So let's say 2c1 will be 2c0 and 1c0. So basically 1c1 and 1c0. So I'm gonna say n minus 1r plus n minus 1 cr minus 1. This will be a formula, right, of this particular. So I minus 1j cj plus I minus 1 c j minus 1. This will be a concept to find the particular ij. So that thing we would gonna use here also, right? So if you know this element, so in Pascal triangle, as you can also see that the first and the last element will always be one, right? So this is the like corner case, or you can see from the observation you can get that the first and last element will be one. And if n is equal to one, then you just need to print one, right? You need to handle this thing. And other than that, if so, let's say if n is given 4, then you need to print 4 rows, right? So basically 1 1 1 2 1 and 1 3 3 1. So this is a Pascal triangle which we need to print if n is equal to 4, right? But if n is 1, in what like if n is 1, then you need to print only 1. So very simple question, right? So for every state we need to consider I minus 1 j state and I minus 1 j minus 1 state, right? So is there like what comes your under your mind when you see this question in the interview? So you will tell the interviewer like I would be trying to use I minus 1 j and I minus 1 j minus 1, right? So he will tell you that this is the right approach, and move with the code. You just write the code for that, right? So I think this is the like most optimal approach for this problem. We can solve this question in a way like very optimal way, and this is the most optimal way, right? So let's write the code for this. So let us suppose we need to return a vector of vector int, because we need to store the whole matrices in this format. So I will create a vector of int, and let's suppose we say an answer, and if n is equal to 1, you just use the base case. So in base case, like if n is equal to 1, so I will just push first row dot push back, and return answer, right? If n is equal to 1, then I just need to return an answer if it is like if n is equal to 1. But if n is greater than that, then I need to traverse. So why I'm doing this is like I is equal to 1 till I is till n, right? So we need to have two loop because we have I and j, right? So we need to make a matrix, and so for matrix we need to have two indices, two pointers. One pointer will be traversing on the row, and another one is traversing in the column, right? So if I say is like 1C0 and 1C1, so let's say ki what we need to do is like we need to check if j is equal to 0 or not. If j is equal to 0, or j is the corner cases, right? If j is equal to 0 and or j is equal to I, then what we need to do, we just need to push back, just create a current row and push back current row, push back one, right? In else case, what we need to do, current row dot push back answer of I minus 1j plus answer of I minus 1 j minus 1, right? This is a case which we have already discussed. And after that we need to push that to our answer, and that current row, and we need to return the answer. So this will be a like let's run the code, and after that, okay, okay, first row dot push back. So I have missed. Again there we have to push back, and after that answer dot push back current row and run. So basically we are getting runtime error. So let's see why we are getting runtime error, because in interview you need to take care of this thing also. Uh, so why we are getting just see I is equal to 1 till I is equal to n, right? So if I is equal to 4, then what we need to print is like we have already stored 1, so we will start from I is equal to 1 till n, right? N is 4, so 1 2 3. So what we are doing is like current row we have added, and we are pushing uh, if I j is equal to 0, just push back. If j is equal to I, then again push back. And if like I is equal to 2, then what you're doing is like you're moving till, so basically you're doing 1. In this case what you're doing, answer plus answer of I minus 1. So basically currently you're standing at 2C1, and use you need to use basically 1C0 and 1C1. So this is 1C1, and this is 1C0. So current row dot push back 1. So we are getting runtime error. Uh, let's see why we are getting runtime error. Okay, so what error is happened is like we have not pushed that answer dot pushback right here. So answer dot pushback first row. So this is a very minute kind of error. Let's submit the code, but we need to take care of this thing. And let's also discuss about the time complexity. Yeah, so it's the like code is right. So just discuss about the time complexity as like we have covered the code part. So let's think what would be the time complexity, right? So the time complexity will be, as you know that you need to traverse and till end is equal to 4, right? And in the worst case, like basically for every time you are traversing like 1, here you are traversing 2, here you are traversing 3. So basically 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. And what would it be summing to? Like if you suppose like if n is equal to 4, right? So in this case it will be coming till sum of n natural numbers, so n into n plus 1 by 2, right? If you suppose like I doesn't say that n is equal to 4, then in generic case what would I say that n like sum of n natural number will be n into n plus 1 by 2. So this number of terms I will be covering for each. So how would I say in coding term is like see here, right? So basically if I is equal to 1, I will be traversing 2 times, right? For I is equal to 2, I will be traversing 3 times. So for like every particular I would be traversing that number of time, and that would ultimately lead to a sum of n natural numbers, right? I plus I plus I plus I, or you can say, and so it will be like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus till n, and that is sum of n natural numbers, n into n plus 1 by 2. So what would be the worst case time complexity is like order of n square, right? If you solve this, so the time complexity will be order of n square. And if you see the constant, then what would be the constant for this question, right? The constant is 30, so 30 into 30 is like 900. So that is not very as the time limit is also given one constant, you are able to solve it very easily, right? So this is a right possible solution. But there may be a possible case where you have given the matrix and you need to tell that uh, any current index. So there may be a variation of this particular question. You need to handle uh, in the at the time of interview. So please like try to approach this question in that direction, in this particular direction. So first come up like first you think about it, then you ask some of the question in the interview, like how, like basically this is my approach and what would be the constant for this particular question. And you, if you need to write the code, just write it in a proper way, right? Just don't consider any name. Just like, so you need to take a proper name, or you need to follow the proper coding standard before writing any code. So that's why I given you like I give you a sample that how I wrote the code. Okay, so yeah, so that's all for this video. And I think like we have covered the question very good, like very uh, I think we have covered the question. And let's meet again in the next video. Up till then, tata, bye bye.